moving ahead a few years, I was this long-haired hippie philosophy student with full beard and long hair, and I was selling what was then illegal. It's now legal marijuana, but it was right. And but there was a Jesus people movement, and that's how I became a Christian. I heard the Beatles singing songs about "Here Comes the Sun King," and I thought, "Oh, that must be Jesus." Not the Jesus I learned about at Brick Presbyterian Church, but a Jesus that was showing up in my life. And so we've had a couple of moves since then. We've had the charismatic movement that started in LA at a church, an Episcopalian church, and there have been various little moves of God, but I'm suggesting that America is in a time where it will return to its destiny to be a light to the nations. And a number of you have gone to the nations. Johan has just come from the nations too. And I believe that you have a destiny. And it's a part of America's destiny. And really, it's a part of God's planned kingdom destiny for the world. And He wants you to be a light bearer. He wants you to be a life giver. He wants you to step into your destiny. And that's what this passage is all about. This passage is picking up from the first 2 chapters of the book of Philippians, and we've been studying this book verse by verse for a couple of months now. But if you're just new to this particular passage, Paul comes to the point where he counts all of his worldly issues of reputation, all of his reasons to be proud, as loss for the sake of knowing Christ. And he said, I was of the right family. I was of the right nation. I was of the right tribe. I was a Pharisee. I was exceeding beyond my contemporaries. I had it made. I was considered to be a great man. And then he had to cash it all in to know who Jesus is. And so he says, look at verse 8. I love the way you read that verse, by the way. It's so clear. You did a great job. Look at verse 8. I count all things to be loss in view of the surpassing value of knowing Christ Jesus my Lord, for whom I have suffered the loss of all things. He's talking about his reputation, really. And he says, I count my worldly reputation as rubbish in order that I might gain Christ. That's what really matters, is gaining Christ, knowing Christ. We can lose everything, but if we have Christ, we can handle whatever the future has to throw at us. And so Paul has gone on this discovery, but then he says, I haven't arrived. It isn't like I'm done with my growth and my development and my stepping into my destiny. And so in verse 12, he says, not that I've already obtained it or have already become perfect, but I press on in order that I may lay hold of that for which I was laid hold of by Christ Jesus. And that's the concept of today. Jesus wants to lay hold of your life, but he wants you to lay hold of your destiny. He's got a call. He has a plan. He has something he wants to do in your life, and he wants to lay hold of you, but you need to lay hold of it.